Unions build roads, bridges, and buildings, yes. But with training and apprenticeship programs, unions build much more. A safer community, careers without crushing debt, and a route to rebuild the American middle class. Unions build the future. And we're just getting started. Join us.
Today on Built to Last, strap yourself in.
So there was all kinds of hazards. Be aware and work safely.
From Marine to Mason.
To lead, you need to be able to follow, and I definitely learned that in the Marine Corps.
High-tech water.
Water's going to be like the new oil.
Pick up a hammer. It's time for Built to Last. Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Labor and Management Committee and Armstrong Ceilings. Faster, easier, better.
Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Monica Pedersen.
And I'm Mark Nilsson. We're here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprenticeship and Training Center, where union carpenters of tomorrow begin their careers today.
And there might not be any aspect of the training that happens here as important as safety. Safety on job sites is so important that a government agency orchestrates a week-long national event to raise awareness and practices to keep all tradesmen and women safe.
Welcome to Wolf Point. On behalf of the Walsh Construction Company, Hines, the Kennedy Organization, and all of our trade partners, Wolf Point, the second building of 3 to be built here at this wonderful location. There are numerous trade unions involved in building this building, and we're proud to be a trade partner with all of them. Today is part of Safety Week 2019. Safety is important 365 days a year. It's just this week we bring a unique emphasis to those conversations and how we protect and care for our employees and those we work with. We call it actively caring.
We're here to do the 6th annual Safety Stand Down. It's a program that OSHA put together to prevent fall injuries, which is one of the leading causes of deaths in construction.
In 2017, we had 971 deaths on construction sites. 366 of those were deaths of falls to a lower level. And every year, we're trying to get the fall distances less and less and less. Harnesses came into the picture in the 90s. We had 6-foot shock absorbing lanyards, and now we're in self-retracting lifelines.
And we're here to talk today about bringing you guys home safe at the end of the day. So getting started, we're going to talk about the ABCDs of fall protection. We're going to be talking about anchor points, body wear, connectors, and descent and rescue. The A in the ABC is the anchor points. You know, 5,000-pound minimum anchor point is what you want to be tied off to. This is probably the most popular anchor connector that's out there, which is the cross-arm strap. You can wrap around the beam and use it. This is another anchor point for us. It's a cable piece that can drop through either steel grating or a hole in cured concrete. The other one would be the I-beam anchor, which is you can go on above or below the I-beam. You can cinch it up to the I-beam and get a nice tight fit to it, and then that D-ring at the bottom becomes what you anchor to. The body wear here, this is Tony Ranella going to help me out with this a little bit. Make sure that you have your chest strap right up where it belongs here, in the middle of the chest area. You're going to have your leg straps down here at the bottom. The rule is to have roughly 4 fingers. You slide it down in between, and if it's snug on those fingers, right, it is the right, snugness to your legs. And then also, you're going to make sure that you have your D-ring up in the middle of the back, right in between the shoulder blades. That's the proper way to wear that. As you turn around here, he's got a subpelvic strap here. Is designed in these harnesses so you can actually sit in them. So next we're going to move into connecting devices, and there's lots of different choices on connecting devices. This is a 6-foot internal shock absorbing lanyard. It's designed to just slow down your descent and bring you to a stop. As you can see, the lanyard did its job. At this point, we're going to hook up a retractable, in case you fall, it will automatically grab you within a couple feet and then it will absorb the shock of the fall. Now there's leading edge units. So if you're working on decking or concrete and you're moving out and the edge is constantly before you, you probably are going to have your retractable mounted either at your feet or behind you. So the way these are being tested is over a sharp edge. They've got certain types of cable and things built into them so that if the floor below you gives way, it'll lock in right away. Now we also have the deceleration or the rescue process, because in the event of a fall, if you're going to be there for a little bit before somebody can get to you, suspension trauma straps are the way to do it. Basically, there's one on each side of this harness so that you can sit in the harness and again, take that pressure off your legs. It's very important.
In addition to the proper application of fall protection equipment, it's critical to have a rescue plan in the event of a fall.
It's so important to me to make sure that everyone knows how to inspect, use, and make sure they're using the right anchor points for all their fall protection.
Our construction crews really embrace Safety Week. You know, they do take it as an opportunity to get further educated on how to protect themselves with the latest technology. They're asking questions and they're engaged, and for that we're ever thankful.
There's no one man's gonna ever pour a bridge deck singly, and that's so critical.
Without teamwork, there's no job that's going to get done.
At Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions, we take great pride in making a positive difference in the lives of people. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and the technical performance to back it up, you can design and install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered ceiling solutions make it easy for you to seamlessly transition from one end of the building to the other. Improve construction efficiencies and keep every job on time, on budget, and on the mark with Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions. Faster, easier, better.
When you need a concrete contractor for your commercial project, you can't waste time waiting through countless unproven contractors who don't specialize in the job type you need or service your area. ConcreteIL.com lets you browse Northern Illinois' top contractors to find the perfect fit for your exact needs. You can filter our vetted list of contractors by both job type and location, and even request proposals directly through the site. Thinking commercial concrete? Think ConcreteIL.com.
From bridges and trains to iconic high-rises, have you ever wondered who's powering Chicago? Unlike our sports heroes, they go unnoticed. Yet they proudly keep our businesses, homes, and great city running. IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors have the experience, training, and reliability to keep Chicago open for business.
Rob North is a journeyman carpenter and a Marine Corps veteran.
He brings us our next story.
Thanks, guys. When veterans return home from service, we need jobs. Just like I discovered, the skilled trades are a great career for us, as we'll see in this story.
My name is Rogelio Torres. I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps. I was an electrician, reservist. I really had no idea what I was gonna do once I got out. I was pretty lost. I was pretty stuck for a while, going from warehouse to warehouse, fast food places and stuff. I chose the apprenticeship program with the Masons because my father is actually a concrete finisher. So was his father. It kind of just had to happen in a way.
I think a lot of the people that picks or chooses to go into the Army or to the military, I think they're hands-on people. And when they get out, they don't see themselves sitting in an office or being indoor. They like the outdoor, working with their hands. So the trades are one of the best fits for them.
Right now we are in Bellwood. We're at the local 502 training center, just off of 290 and 25th Avenue. This is a brand new facility. This is our second year here.
The great thing about our apprenticeship, they get a lot of hands-on experience. And the thing about concrete, it's a touchy-feely product. You have to know what you're working with.
Today we're working on stairs. On stairs we go over first one day in the classroom because there is some math to it.
The angles that we need, how much spacing we need in between all of them. So what we do is you get your two sides of plywood, you got your bottom. Make sure everything's nice and framed up strong, so when the concrete is poured, it doesn't open up.
Make sure your concrete's hitting the bottom of the board, yeah. So basically we spent more of our training here on the workshop. So the best part about this is the room, the high ceilings, overhead doors, one side to side. That way we can pull in, pull out the ready-mix truck, and they're all set. Then we go into the pouring process, and that's what we're doing today. Once you're out in the field, if it's cold, it doesn't set up. If you're in the sun, 80 degrees, concrete sets up faster. So we try to expose them to all that.
We level out the top of every single one of the risers. For this, we use our hand float. You could use a strike off, which is a piece of 2x4, just to get everything evened out at the first time once the concrete is poured.
Next step, he starts cleaning down the stairs, floating them, make sure they're nice and flat, that he's got some pitch if the stairs have pitch. Everything looking good.
After that, I like using what everybody should be using is a level, just to make sure all your sides are even.
Once it sets up, you start stripping and facing your forms.
Start stripping everything down and give it a nice broom finish. You got yourself a set of stairs. If you like working with your hands and if you like doing something different every day, you like to challenge yourself. Of course, you know, the work is difficult, the work is hard, you do get tired, but it's fun.
Well, we're on the Congress Parkway in Chicago pouring a bridge deck with Lorick Construction. It's a considerable sized bridge deck. And this morning it was a little rainy, but that's really helpful in placing the concrete. We have a perishable product that cannot be interrupted. You need to adjust as you're going along.
Safety is big. I mean, safety is drilled into our heads, and we have to be safe about everything that we do.
You're flying stuff in, you got a boom overhead placing concrete. There's a lot of moving parts to it.
You can't play around this type of place for kids. You know, you have to be an adult.
Families and friends gather at Local 502 for the graduation of Rogelio's class from apprenticeship to journeyman.
This is a great night for us, for many reasons.
Pretty proud. There's a lot of work that had to be done to get here. So now being a concrete finisher, being a journeyman, you know, it's kind of like when I was at boot camp. I'll recruit this, recruit that, and then finally getting the title of United States Marine. So that's somewhere where the parallel is the same.
Some of the kids that you just see have the talent, and Rogelio, he had a lot of mentors.
To lead, you need to be able to follow, and I definitely learned that in the Marine Corps because I was really bad at taking direction. When my boss would tell me something and I didn't like it, I would just argue. But now I know it's a lot different, a lot more is at stake. Basically, no more excuses now. Now you have that title, now you know what's expected of you. Now you have to get it done.
There's no one man's gonna ever pour a bridge deck singly, and that's so critical.
Without teamwork, there's no job that's gonna get done. And mission accomplishment means everything. My favorite part about being a Mason, getting to learn something new every day. Just when I feel like I might have an idea and got everything figured out, it's a big surprise because something else gets thrown at me, something completely different. So now you gotta master that and you gotta be good at that. Just to think about all the work that my dad put in, my grandpa put in, everything. They built all of Chicago, all of the highways and everything. So just to see that and see everything that he was able to accomplish during his time, and now that I'm following his footsteps, it feels great. Literally every single day something new. And working with my dad too is pretty cool.
Helmets to Hard Hats is a program for returning veterans to find a civilian career in the trades. Since 2007, they have placed almost 6,000 vets into meaningful careers.
Here we have this seemingly endless supply of fresh water, and it's not true.
Keeping restaurants and hotels up to date with the latest design trends is a constant challenge. Finding qualified contractors isn't at finishingchicago.com. We work with top designers and general contractors who use the latest painting, drywall finishing, and wall covering techniques in Chicagoland's premier hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry relies on finishingchicago.com as its free resource to find quality finishing contractors. For a great finish, start with finishingchicago.com.
24/7, IBEW Local 9 linemen are there protecting you and your family. From the moment you wake up with a power in your home, on your way to work, lighting the way and easing congestion. Plus, keeping you safe with traffic lights and cameras. So the next time you're at a stoplight, pass under a power line, or just pull into your brightly lit neighborhood, think of your friends at IBEW Local 9. We'll continue to light the way for you. Meet us online at IBEW9.org.
Fresh, clean water is one of the world's most valuable resources, and union plumbers understand this perhaps better than anyone. They take this so seriously that they not only teach but practice conservation right from the start of their apprenticeship training.
Here we have this seemingly endless supply of fresh water, and it's not true. The lake levels, there's studies saying that they are diminishing year by year.
Water's going to be like the new oil, right? It's going to be a commodity that people would actually probably fight over.
There's so many parts of this country that don't have water, or that are on a system where, oh, you can only be running your water Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever, you know, and it's scary.
Plumbing's changed over the last century. It's become more water efficient. Back in the 70s, the water closets went from 5 gallons per flush down to 3.5 gallons. And back then they called it water saver. Today, they're down to basically 1.28 gallons per flush.
Water conservation is a bigger deal now here in the Midwest than it ever was.
Our business manager, Jim Coyne, envisioned building a state-of-the-art facility some time back.
This facility is a great, great resource.
We are probably one of the greenest buildings that you can ever walk into. We don't use very much fresh water. Since our opening, we used just over 11 gallons. In about 18 months.
So instead of it being drinking water that's potable, flushing our toilets, it's harvested water from the rain.
We capture rainwater from the roof.
This roof serves a couple different purposes. We kind of made it aesthetically nice with the garden up here, and it's a nice roof to come out here and have a meal, have a drink. But actually its mechanical purpose is letting water hit it from a rainstorm or a snow event. And the roof heads are in here. And not letting that water run off a traditional roof into a gutter system and splash out into a sewer. Actually, these tiles that are up here have a gap in them. But this is without the grout, so the water is able to flow through these tiles, and this will be one more avenue for the water to go down the downspouts and into our cistern.
Raw rainwater can contain contaminants. So that's when the fun really begins.
Rainwater comes down from the building that we're catching, spaced accordingly so it slows it down a little bit. Comes over to what we call a first flush. Any of the water that we're catching is going through this screen. Any of the waste is going into a reservoir. That's going to go out to the city sanitary sewer in a slow, controlled state. And anything that's going into our reservoir to clean up is going over into a 10,000-gallon tank here. Water is pulled up through a series of this copper piping, labeled purple, an international color, meaning it's reclaimed. Should be labeled that way so nobody ties into a pipe like this and tries to feed somebody domestic drinking potable water. Water comes along through this piping system, hits a series of filters.
These 3 filters remove particulates from the water down to 5 microns.
Now that we've caught as many particulates as the filters allow us, it's going to be flashed through a UV light. And before it enters what we would call our day tank, that's around 3,500 gallons, it's metered, so every time it keeps going inside, it's being dosed with chlorine.
Through a series of pumps, the day tank supplies the training center with clean, non-potable water.
And this would flush all of our toilets, or water closets as we call them, and our urinals. And it's also conveyed to the second floor for all of our training purposes for water heaters, faucets, showers, and for our 3 flat 2 homes that we have in our shop.
We use all of this demonstration water in our wet labs, and then once we're done with this rainwater, we capture it and put it into our grain water system.
This is catching any of our water in the building that's coming from hand sinks that are fed with domestic or what we call potable water, and any of our showers. Any kind of debris is going to run out to a drain. Anything that's caught is going to go to this system here, and it's pretty much like this other system, except for a little twist. There's microorganisms that live in there, aerobic bacteria. We feed them air, they multiply, they help break down soap, hair, things like that.
After the bugs, it's filtered and exposed to UV light. Then,
we use this water not to use it for the building again, but for outside subsoil irrigation.
Well, part of the reason that we have it all set up here is so that we can train our apprentices and our journeymen on how to properly install these systems.
We have these huge solar panels up on the roof that then get to heat up the water that we're using in the wet labs.
Coil's heated, so water's now passing on the outside of it.
from solar panels to the latest in energy-saving appliances, the training center takes conservation seriously.
Any of the water we pass around on the inside of that superheated water is heated up like that.
I love it.
We're trying to not only keep them up with the latest technology, but we're trying to stay ahead of the curve.
You can do something different, something unique, something that where you can step down when you're done and look at that ceiling and say, wow, look what I did, that's pretty cool. That's kind of a cool feeling to have as a carpenter.
When you have plumbing issues in your home, it can disrupt your whole routine. At Plumbers 911, we connect you with a highly experienced plumber in 5 minutes or less. We call it our 5-minute promise. All of our expert plumbers are highly trained, background checked, licensed, and insured, so you can feel confident that your job will be done right the first time. Our phones are open 24/7 to help solve your problem, day or night, at 1-833-PLUM-911. Plumbers 911, your plumbing connection.
We are DeWalt. We're the ones who grind it out. The ones using materials from all over the world to build the things that build America right here in America. And there's no place we'd rather be. Land of the free, tools of the brave.
This is a team. It's made up of different players, positions, skills, talented, sure, but on their own? Because every team needs a coach, someone who makes things work together. That's how Lesset works. We're coaches in the construction industry, bringing together laborers and management, unions and contractor associations. Our work leads to safer, stronger construction, which is a win for us all.
When you think about innovations and the future of construction, what usually is closest to your brain is often the furthest thing from your mind, the ceiling.
We're at the Carpenters Apprenticeship School here in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. And here on the second floor, we're actually putting in a new ceiling that is a design flex ceiling from Armstrong.
About a year ago, we decided that we needed some sprucing up to be done in this hallway. We got involved with John Dosey from Armstrong. They had just come out with this new product, so we started talking about our lecture hall entranceway.
This is their lobby, and we're going to be putting in one of Armstrong's newest systems, our Design Flex system.
E&K has come in and they're installing our ceiling grid system. It's not a typical ceiling grid, rather than just a square or rectangle. It's actually going to be triangles and parallelograms. So it's a different look on the tiles as well.
Constantly training new up-and-comers from the training program here at the Carpenter School to in-house. I do a lot of training with my guys. If I do see something like this, I hit it up front.
Well, I think the days of 2x2 and 2x4 ceiling tiles, those are going away. What's pretty neat about this job is we have integrated partners. So we have integrated lighting. Right here's one of our integrated LED T lights. So what's kind of neat is we have custom sized T's for this job, and this light is exactly dimensioned the same as our T. So instead of the installer putting the T in, they're putting the light in, and the electrician will come and hook it up after.
Drop ceilings are pretty much always to cover what was above the plenum. Communication wires has always been what's been above the ceiling, and they need hidden. If you need accessibility, they'd put a drop acoustical ceiling in.
This system has main runners every 2 feet, so we're a little bit more wires. What's neat about this system is it's still typical products that a ceiling installer is used to working with.
Nowadays, you have shade boxes at the windows, you have glazing channels, you have light coves, different types of other light integrations that work with that ceiling. And now our architects would like bigger panels instead of the normal 2x2, 2x4, something different, something that maybe gives it more of a wow factor.
So on a normal system, this is a cross T, and this cross T tab will go into the main beam. So, but this system, because we have angle brackets, the angle bracket goes off the main beam, it gauges off the route hole, and the T, custom size T, stabs into each hub.
So some of the T's that are involved in the acoustical ceiling for the install is actually being replaced with an actual light fixture. So it doesn't take up the ceiling tiles, which keeps accessibility in that ceiling.
We have a shop drawing service. We draw it up. It generates a bill of materials. We have on the drawing the partner diffuser item numbers. And so this, to fit into this system, we have to work with partners so that they can provide fixtures that will fit. Training is key. The systems are getting more and more complex, and training is important. So that's where I spend a lot of time here at the training centers to make sure that they know about the newest systems and what they're going to see out on the field.
My job is the coordination of this and my guys to be knowledgeable to do this kind of work. I give them the training and the tools that they need, and I make sure that we're ahead of the curve, and it's good communication with my team is what it is.
This is a nice scale. It's 1,000 square foot. It's a showpiece. That's why we work together with our lighting partners, the diffuser partners. So all the integrated parts will be on display here, and we'll be able to showcase this to bring contractors out, owners, architects, designers, and let them see this space.
Whenever you can go on the job site and you can do something different, something unique, something where you can step down when you're done and look at that ceiling and say, wow, look what I did, that's pretty cool. That's kind of a cool feeling to have as a carpenter.
By us making a system with paired partners that, yes, if you specify this fixture and this diffuser, there will be no issues with our system. It's a huge benefit to all. And that's what we pride ourselves on here at Armstrong, is integrated solutions. That everything across the space, everything ties together seamlessly.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last.
Be sure to check us out on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
You know, people don't appreciate the work that goes into installing ceilings.
Yeah,
that's true.
I agree.
It's always over their heads. Get at the ceiling above your head. See you next time.
So funny.